The economic crisis is rapidly approaching the Russian Federation. Salary arrears and hidden unemployment rates are rapidly growing at Russian enterprises. This was reported by pro-Kremlin media, citing data from the Federation of Independent Trade Unions of Russia. According to the organization, in July, the debt on payments increased by a quarter and reached 1.7 billion rubles. At the same time, the number of employees at risk of losing their jobs has increased by 1.5 times. In addition, the number of jobs transferred to idle mode has increased by a third. Official statistics confirm trends that are alarming for Russians. According to Rosstat, by the end of May, wage arrears had grown 3.4 times compared to last year and amounted to 1.66 billion rubles, excluding small and medium businesses. By July, this amount had risen even higher, reaching 1.7 billion rubles. Rostrud data also show a worsening situation on the labor market. The share of Russians forced to work part-time or part-week increased from 9.1% in June to 14.4% by mid-July. The problems were especially acute in industrial regions. Yaroslavl, Moscow, Samara, Ulyanovsk regions, and in Tatarstan. The number of employees on layoff rose from 8.6% in June to 11.1% in July. At the same time, the level of planned layoffs also increased. If in May 16.7% of employees were threatened with layoffs, then in June the figure reached 20.4%. Economists emphasize that the current difficulties are a direct consequence of the protracted war against Ukraine. Russia is bogged down in an aggressive campaign, absorbing resources and directing colossal funds to military needs, while industry and the social sphere are in crisis. The blow to the Russian economy is systematic. Rising debt, falling employment, and mass downtime at enterprises have become the inevitable result of the Kremlin's policies. In this case, the population's anger towards Vladimir Putin's government is also growing. It is not excluded that there will be social unrest in the country. Recall, Russia is running out of money and has a record hole in its budget. Against the backdrop of falling incomes, mine closures, industrial losses, and the halt in the export of key goods, Russian regions are massively plunging into deficit. In the first half of 2025, the hole in local budgets reached almost 400 billion rubles, and the situation continues to rapidly worsen. According to the Federal Treasury, in January to June 2025, Russian regions had a budget deficit of 397.8 billion rubles. This is a sharp decline compared to the same period last year, when a surplus of 855.8 billion was recorded. Experts call the situation unprecedented. Such a deficit in regional budgets has never been recorded before.
Fuel shortages are becoming increasingly widespread in Russia, with various images circulating on social media. There are huge queues at the Russian gas stations due to fuel shortage. The oil refinery has partially or completely suspended work due to drone attacks, so the Russians can switch to horses. In Primorsk there are huge queues at gas stations. In occupied Crimea there are interruptions with gasoline. In Transbaikalia gasoline is sold on coupons. Recall, in early August, wholesale gasoline prices, which had been steadily growing since the end of winter, reached their peak. In the first week of the month alone, the price of AI-95 gasoline broke its historical record several times. On August 8, after a week of continuous growth, it reached an absolute maximum of 79.9 thousand rubles per ton, and on August 13, it surpassed the level of 80.5 thousand rubles. A small correction was only noted on August 14. Prices for AI-92, which are more volatile, also reached a peak of 70.9 thousand rubles per ton by August 13, exceeding the previous record of September 11, 2023. Despite the fact that Russia produces fuel in large volumes, its delivery to remote regions, especially to the south, Siberia, and the Far East, remains difficult due to a shortage of specialized rolling stock. Also, the reduction in supply on the domestic market is due to repairs at several large Russian oil refineries at once, explains Pavel Karpus, partner at S Plus Consulting.
Да, бензина нет, старый бензин на заправке закончился, а бензовоз только подъехал. Вот так и живем.
Короче, на Альянсе вот такая обстановка. Чуть-чуть скоро до грина не будет хватать. А вот он, грин уже.
А вот такая очередь на мельничной. Прям на дороге, нахуй. Нихуя себе. Мне даже бензина не хватит, нахуй, негде стоять.
Video footage has been released in Telegram channels, showing the moment of Ukrainian drone attack on a Russian cargo train, followed by fire in Zaporizhia region on Tuesday. The train transporting fuel to Russian army units was hit in the area between Urzyny and Tokmak, which resulted in the destruction of a railway connection in the Russian-occupied part of Zaporizhia region. The train caught fire after the attack that was launched by the 65th Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Pyotr Andriashenko, former advisor to the mayor of Mariupol, confirmed the attack took place.